Good morning, everybody. My name is Anando Banerjee. I'm the strategy director for strategy director for post-secondary success at Alabama Possible. Now I'm kind of regretting that I hit record so early. Thank you for joining the fifth annual virtual spring conference hosted by Alabama College Attainment Network. This year, the theme for the conference is Uniting Pathways, Aligning Education and Workforce in Alabama. We believe this theme is particularly relevant with the creation of the new Department of Workforce. To succeed in this endeavor, education, that includes K through 12 and post-secondary, industry, and community organizations are coming together to most efficiently utilize resources. A key part of this conference is to spread information outside of our usual silos and create working partnerships across the state. Presentations will encompass a variety of topics, including post-secondary access and readiness, connecting college and career success, student success in post-secondary education, creating a purpose-filled culture and climate, and policy advocacy and collective impact. With that, I would like to hand it over to our executive director, Chandra Scott.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Ananda. I don't even know why I'm speaking. You did such a fantastic job. There's nothing more for me to say, but I do want to add that the things I'm seeing in the chat about what we're looking forward to spring. I'm like thumbs up to all of it, especially I am truly a Southern girl. I do not like cold weather. So I am so looking forward to the warm days sitting back on the patio. So yes, I am definitely here for all of the comments about warmer weather. But it's so great to have so many of you on this morning for the Alabama College Attainment Network virtual conference. I have to say, this conference to me is always such a spotlight in the work we do because we get to see so many new faces every year for this conference, which really speaks to why we do this work. It's really about collaboration, really broadening networks to ensure that everyone has a space and see themselves in this space of making sure everyone across our state has a pathway that they can chart out for themselves to have a post-secondary pathway that leads them to upward mobility. And so we just really appreciate all of you who join us every year. And if you're new this year, thank you for joining us because it is because of you that this work continues to grow, continues to strengthen. I'm hoping you realize that you're part. Oh my God, someone just said peach cobbler. I'm sorry, I have ADD really bad. But yes, your collaboration and being part of this work is so critical. And I can't say that enough. I do hope you enjoy the many wonderful speakers that we have lined up for today. I do want to take a moment if you can just give a reaction to the Alabama Possible team and thanking them for being so amazing and putting on this conference. It really takes the entire small but mighty team to make this possible, curating the speakers, making sure technology works, all of the amazing things that happen behind the scenes. So hopefully you have a wonderful experience on this virtual conference. I know virtual conferences are sometimes hard because we finding ourselves multitasking. But I'm hoping that as you're doing that, you're still being very engaged within today, especially with the speakers who are giving their time. But again, I'm just so excited to see so many of you here today. Look forward to hearing your thoughts about the conference afterwards. But again, just know, as Anando said, this is really about uniting pathways. Right now, we're in such unprecedented times, so we have to push forward even harder to make sure everyone across our state is not left behind, that everyone still sees themselves being valuable in the process. And so it's really critical that we all lean in and not lean back at this time. And so again, I want to thank all of you. And so at this moment, it is my pleasure to turn it over to Manisha, who is now going to introduce our amazing keynote speaker, Brooke Gillis, today. I'm so excited to hear her. Again, thank you guys for joining us.
Good morning, everyone. It is my honor to introduce you all to our dynamic speaker today, keynote speaker today. Her bio is already on the website, but just a little bit about her professional life. She is not just a leader in the tech startup scene, but Brooke has been at Innovation Depot since it has been in the current location. And as a CEO for the past 2 years, she is a passionate advocate for Birmingham's entrepreneurial spirit. With a strong commitment to fostering a vibrant ecosystem, she actively participates in various initiatives, including serving on the UAB Information Security Liaison Committee and being part of the Harvard Business School's Young American Leaders Program. Living in Birmingham for 20 years with her husband and two teenage sons, Brooke's love for her community and family fuels her drive to create a vibrant ecosystem where innovation can flourish. On a personal note, let me tell you, Brooke is much more courageous than I am because she is about to chaperone 38, 17, 18-year-olds over the weekend. And I know her courage actually filters into her work too. So good luck, Brooke. And ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Brooke Gillis, the CEO of Innovation Depot. All yours, Brooke.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yes, I am hosting 38 children at a lake house after prom. So everyone say a big prayer for me on Saturday and Sunday. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I'm more excited that I am the first speaker because by the last speaker, you're definitely all going to be multitasking. And I'm excited that he's put springtime and or a lot of people are excited about springtime. Today, I'm wearing my pink because at the Innovation Depot, I was just telling the team that we have a flower truck coming and we're serving mimosas in a few hours. And so we like to do really fun things and it happens to be today. So hence the reason, if you know me, you know I only wear black typically. And so having a pink shirt is very normal for me. But I'm excited to be here with all of you today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So give me 2 seconds and let's get into presentation mode. Here we go. I will admit I speak a lot at things and I've never spoke to a Zoom call. So I'm standing up at my stand-up desk and we're going to try to keep this very energetic. I hope that you've had your 2 cups of coffee. We're going to dive right in and really it's an honor to be with you today. And I'm going to focus on 4 different pillars of innovation. And so let me just start by asking you, what if the next founder and the next innovator was sitting in your classroom or in your boardroom or really walking by your hallway right now? Today, I want to share these 4 pillars that are essential in how we discover what we've discovered really over 2 decades here at the Innovation Depot. And those 4 pillars are people, space, support, and really programs that adapt to our ever-growing society. But before we dive in, I want to tell you a little bit about how I got here. I know she mentioned I've been around here for a long time, but my journey to innovation was not planned. It was really discovered. I started as the director of sales and marketing for the Culinard, which was Virginia College. Many people on this call may be familiar with Virginia College. And that's what actually led me to Innovation Depot. I was asked to open a bakery here 17 years ago, a little over 17 years ago. That is when Innovation Depot opened its doors. So I was the very first tenant in this building 17 years ago. Since then, I've worked for startups like InstaGift. I helped start the first Velocity Accelerator, which is the very first tech accelerator in Birmingham. And I also worked for Techstars Alabama Energy Tech when I ran their program here, which is the largest accelerator and investor in the United States. And now I've come full circle, sitting in a very different seat. And this is where I began my journey, and this is where I am now. So I'm excited to share with you a little bit about our 140,000 square foot building that houses over 182 tech startups. And we have over 600 people on what we call our roster, which means they are members of companies within our building. So there's how you see my timeline from Culinard back to the Innovation Depot as the CEO. And as I mentioned, 140,000 square feet, over 180 companies work in our building today. We're going to talk about building a team, building the right space, supporting our founders and our students and our community, and really adapting through programs. So let's just first dive in about building the right team. This is a place that I am super passionate about. We have a team of 7 here and 7 strong individuals. And I would say if I were to hire 7 Brooke Gillises, this place would be an absolute disaster. I think it's very important to really focus on building a diverse team with many different backgrounds and personalities. And this isn't really a luxury, but I think it's actually essential to success. And so when I started my current role, my board of directors, which is made up of 28 very, very influential people in Birmingham, Alabama, they said, Brooke, you need to get a leadership coach. And I said, wait, you hired me to be the CEO and I'm not enough for you? And I said no, and I went on with my way, and I worked at the Innovation Depot for 1 full year without getting that leadership coach. And when I decided to get that leadership coach, everything at the Innovation Depot changed. I was able to lead so much better. But what I did that actually was a better move, but I didn't just get myself a leadership coach. I went out and raised a fund so that I could get every single one on my team that same leadership coach. Because when our people grow, our organizations grow. And we also invested in things, I'm sure I know there's many educators on this screen today, and y'all know that DISC assessments or all the type of assessments can be annoying to fill out. Some of them, people don't believe in them. I believe in the DISC assessment. Our team took the DISC assessment about a year ago, and I learned so much about my team. I learned that someone on my team in this middle photo here, you see here, this redheaded guy, he hates crowds. So I gave him a camera, and he now thinks of a crowd as an opportunity. I know that another one in this photo absolutely wants to get to work when he comes to work. He gets here at 7, he's heads down. When I walk in his office, he doesn't want to talk about his family. He wants to just get to work. But there is another individual on the screen, my chief development officer, that she cannot just start working. We have to unpack her weekend. We've got to talk about how she's doing. And so that leadership coach was absolutely essential and has been in our growth. And we will continue to keep that leadership coach. We also celebrate big wins and small wins here at the Innovation Depot. As you see in this photo, the whiteboard, we get together as a team every quarter and we sit in a conference room for 1 hour and we write down wins. You just walk up to the board and you write down a win that happened. And it can be as small as, fixing a toilet and as large as raising $1 million. Because see, all of us in our daily activities, we're just heads down, building an ecosystem, many of you leading classrooms or organizations. And that can be hard and can be taxing. And sometimes you don't go home and think about what good happened in your day. You think about all the hard that happened in your day. These quarterly meetings and whiteboard sessions are essential so that my team can get filled up with the positive energy and to keep moving forward to help individuals. We also do things like unexpected gestures. We have Chick-fil-A Mondays. We all come together on Chick-fil-A. We sit in our lobby and we eat, chicken sandwiches together and talk about our weekend. We also celebrate things like, as a leader, I think it's important that you treat your team as you would treat your family. And this is a great example. The other day, I found out that a team member, she's our events planner. We have black linens that go over all of our tables, hundreds of black linens. And after an event, we don't have a washer and dryer here. She was taking home the linens and washing them, which is fine. We do things outside of our, normal day to day. But I found out after 6 months of her being on the job that she didn't have a washer and dryer. She was going to a laundromat every single week and sitting there for hours and hours doing the laundry. I could have sent her an email and said congratulations, but instead we went out and bought her a $100 gift card to her favorite store, Anthropology. I think these little small gestures are creating a company, creating a team of people that want to be involved, that want to be better, that want to do those things like looking outside the box and doing the laundry from a laundromat for hours upon hours without even asking or telling anyone about their task. Innovation thrives when people feel seen, valued, and empowered. So as I move on to the next pillar, power of space, this is one that I'm very, very passionate about. I've had the opportunity to design many spaces over the past few decades between houses and co-working spaces and innovation hubs. And I was really excited when I got this job because I was able to use my design skills as well as some of my startup skills to kind of put them all together. And so when I got here, we really leaned in on space. Physical and emotional and cultural space shapes what people believe is possible. And at the Innovation Depot, we really intentionally designed our spaces. We have a co-working space, as you see here, that houses over 30 entrepreneurs. We have hot desks, designated desks. We've updated our community spaces to be like a coffee shop vibe. We have 8 private phone cubes that you see here on the far left, where people can maybe come and work in the common areas and get filled by the energy of the Innovation Depot, and then they can pop in a sound phone booth to make those private calls. We have a podcast studio, a gym, and we just added a quiet or what we call a meditation room to allow people to get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and just be quiet. We also have flexible office terms. We house founders here, companies, startups, they grow and they shrink. And so we have offices that they can come and elaborate. They can be as small as 200 square feet and as large as 4,000 square feet. And just a few years ago, a little over a year ago, we opened an event space here at the Innovation Depot so that people could plan events, so we can open our doors to the community. And this space, just in the past year, has seen over 15,000 people. But you're hearing it from me. Why not hear it from some of our founders? I'm going to click a quick video and let you hear exactly how space has affected all of our founders that live in our building every single day. Take a look.
I was compelled to be part of this ecosystem, not just from the facility, the beautiful facility, but the people here. You're just walking into just walking around the elevators, the steps, what have you. Everyone is just so driven by their company, their passion, what their why story. And it's amazing that every day I come in here and talk with a new founder every day and chit chat about what they're working on. I think that type of environment is so conducive of innovation. You know, we're in a safe place. We're here to make mistakes and build on top of those. So the whole ecosystem here of Innovation Depot has been 100% conducive to myself, my growing team.
I have a private office, which has been wonderful because it's right where the windows are. So I have an opportunity to look outside and get sunlight in, and it's been really awesome. It also gives me a very nice place to take meetings. So the way that the space has been renovated in general just really makes it a nice, I offer for people to come down to the depot all the time. And so like a company that might be larger or bigger, I have the same kind of quality space to bring my prospects into.
Having this infrastructure of other founders and investors and the technology community around you is such a big deal as a founder here in Birmingham or anywhere, really anywhere. But this is the place in Birmingham that if you're a founder, you live.
So we arrived in the US looking for 3 months of deep customer discovery for our startup, and we were talking with the EDPA, the Chamber of Commerce, some accelerators, and we found that the Innovation Depot was the perfect landing spot for us. It's the beating heart of the innovation in Birmingham. It's the perfect area in the state where we can get up north, we can get down to Mobile, and it's a real hub of kind of buzzing, humming activity of founders and mentors, and everyone knows where to find us, and it's been a real asset to us, all the thing.
As Virginia just mentioned, mentors and founders and a community. So this is how we lead into our next pillar, and that's the strength of support. It doesn't just take a team of 7, it takes an entire community to grow this ecosystem, whether it be Innovation Depot or schools or organizations. We really lean on board members. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a large board and they are a huge advocate. We have to educate them every single quarter in order to tell them what we're doing and how we're doing so they can go out into the world and they can educate. We're a nonprofit, so we fully fundraise for all of our activities here at the Innovation Depot. So we lean into our donors heavily. Actually, you can see some of our donors here on the screen now. And then we also lean in on mentors and advisors, and not mentors and advisors that are going to sit down with our founders and give them positive feedback and cheer them on. I mean, real world founders that are mentors that are going to lean in and tell these founders and these individuals, even when they're doing wrong, that are going to critique them so that they can be better individuals and better humans and better founders and leaders, and they can go out and lead the next generation of founders after that. So we really lean in on the positive, but yet also the negative when we come to our mentors. Our community is huge, as I mentioned. We have events and workshops to engage all of our founders. We invite the community in. We have just internal events. We have a variety of activities. There we go, another video. But before I jump in, I think, as a nonprofit, we fully lean in on fundraising. We educate, we involve our boards, we are donors and true advocates. And you, especially if you're an educator, and I know many of you in this room are, you're often someone's very first champion. You plant the seeds that bloom every single year. And that is exactly what we're doing here today. We plant the seeds for innovators to come in and be surrounded by like-minded individuals. And we hope that they're able to create serendipitous moments walking down to the bathroom or going to an event, and they can be surrounded by other people that can then teach them. So it's so important that we surround them with the right tools and the right people. But I'm going to let you actually dive in right now and look exactly at what our founders have done to take advantage of all of our resources.
Well, one, the grant was valuable because it gave me an opportunity to bring on 2 customers that are also members of the co-working space who would not have otherwise been able to pay for our services. But those 2 customers are already finding value in what it is that how we're able to help them. So those are companies that I anticipate will actually grow. And because they're utilizing our services that made possible by the Depot's grant, now we'll have an opportunity to see them be able to measure their own success, and hopefully it'll make a big difference.
It's hard to really put it into words how much this grant has helped Backer. It just came at the most perfect time for us. I'm not going to go too deep into the story, but we were a B2C company that got caught between fundraising. It was a great experience, and we were about ready to fold up shop, but we had this last change to pivot our company to a B2B business model of supplying tech to other businesses that we built along the way. And the only way we could see this opportunity through was because of this grant.
The grant that we received from Innovation Depot was very timely because we were doing some work on some UI UX work based off of some feedback that we got from user groups. And so we were able to get a really good developer out of New York to kind of help us reimagine what that dashboard looks like. And so that grant really helped accelerate the development of that. And so we're thankful for the award and being able to accelerate some of our roadmap items by getting it.
So because of the Innovation Depot giving our company a grant, we were able to bring our new CTO on, who started as a subcontractor with the company, but has since transitioned to being a fractional role.
I raised a $4.25 million seed round earlier this year in February. That part of the following investors in that round were actually introduced to me by Brooke here at the Depot. It was fun. All those partners, they're out of Detroit and Boston jointly, and they ended up putting $850,000 into Conduit as a result of her connection.
I probably failed to tell you what a grant is, but because of our fundraising efforts this year, we were able to deploy $250,000 into companies here at the Innovation Depot. And next year, we're going to be able to deploy over $500,000 into these companies. So whether it be support in the classroom, in a boardroom, or even in our big innovation center, I think it's so important that we really think about how do we help others really grow their companies or grow them as people. The very last pillar is maybe one that's a little different than some of you typically do in your day-to-day activities, but we have programs here. And I think the most important thing that we've done is be able to adapt through the programs. Just like a student or a co-founder, you can't just have a program and then place that person in a program. We feel like you have to actually create a program for the person. And so it's not a one-size-fits-all at the Innovation Depot. We meet founders at every single stage of their journey. Many founders are going to walk through our doors with just an idea that they wrote on the back of a napkin. Other founders are going to walk through our door with maybe a few $1 million in the bank and a team of maybe 10. And so it's so important that we adapt to every single founder that comes in. We recently, a few years ago, launched a new program called Voltage. This program has helped hundreds of founders. And when I say founders, these are people just like every single person on this screen today. Every single one of you probably have had an idea, and you haven't been able to take that idea out of your head or out of that back of a napkin when you were at a restaurant one day and actually put it into play. These founders, hundreds of founders that go through our Voltage class, come in on the weekends for 5 weekends, and they learn how to be entrepreneurs. Many of them have gone on to quit their jobs and become entrepreneurs. Once they do that, they go on to our second program called Boost, and that's when they're actually getting customers and creating revenue. Other founders go through something called Accelerator. An Accelerator is a 13-week program. There's typically money involved, typically anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 investment in your company. And that's when you go and you sit your heads down working on your product for 13 weeks. Many years ago, and it's in my bio, but I helped start the very first Velocity Accelerator, Tech Accelerator in Birmingham, actually here in the Innovation Depot. But I think it's important to realize that we have to adapt to our ever-changing environment. And so I had to make a very hard choice. When I took this role on, I actually stopped the Velocity Accelerator. That same Velocity Accelerator that I helped bring to the depot, I helped decorate for the depot and help recruit for the depot, because it was important that we collaborated instead with all the other wonderful accelerators that had moved to Birmingham, national accelerators, within that 8 years of us creating this. And so just a few years ago, when I arrived, we turned this Velocity Accelerator into the beautiful Techstars Alabama Energy Tech space. And every single year, we welcome 24 entrepreneurs that are focused on energy tech to come and work in our building for 13 weeks. We don't just lean in on one accelerator, though. Every single accelerator matters to the Innovation Depot. If anyone on this call knows anything about accelerators, we have accelerators like Generator, like Alabama Launchpad, Techstars Water Tech, and Techstars Energy Tech. They all come together at the Innovation Depot. As you see here, we had a huge event in December where they all kicked off and gave their pitches on stage, just like you would see on a Shark Tank. We heard over 60 individuals give those pitches here in this building in one day, and it was very, very exciting. Programs should not force people into a rigid systems. The best systems flex to fit the people. So I challenge all of you, don't try to put a student or a coworker or anyone, even in your life, into a box. Instead, create a box just for them to help them to grow. So really today, as I close, I'm going to skip that video. I want to tell you that my call to action to you is build teams rooted in empathy, curiosity, and encouragement, and create space that invites collaboration and possibility. Think about your space. Think about your classrooms. Think about your office. Be the support system someone didn't know they needed. And design programs to grow with people, not beyond the people. At Innovation Depot, our founders have raised over $100 million. Half of that was since they actually joined the Innovation Depot. But it's not the dollars that inspire me. It's the humans behind those dollars. People like you, people like your students and your coworkers, people that just need someone to believe in them before they can believe in themselves. So I ask all of you to keep building the ecosystem, keep building your classrooms, keep building your team, one space, one person, and one bold idea at a time. We all can do this, but it takes every single one of us in order to move this forward. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope that you feel inspired. I know you have many other speakers ahead that are going to teach you amazing things. But I was excited to be here today and tell you about how innovation is really changing Birmingham and Alabama as a whole. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brooke. And thank you so much for taking the time to describe a little bit about your role. And also thank you for that stirring call to action. I think I was looking at the chat and I think there was only one question. So I think we can address that pretty quickly. Josephine asks, does the event space offer discounted rates for nonprofits?
Absolutely. There's 100% a nonprofit rate. And also there's a rate for, if any of you in this room on the screen want to be part of the Innovation Depot, we have a membership model where for just $50 a month, anyone can come work in our common areas, be surrounded by the energy of innovators. And so a lot of people that work from home, they may work for another company outside of Alabama. They can come work here for just $50 a month, and that also gets you a discounted rate for our event space. So we're open to all events. We actually housed a lot of the vice principals from the area just a few weeks ago here in Birmingham, and so we don't necessarily do weddings and birthday parties, but anything aligned with companies, we would love to host your team here or your event here. So feel free to reach out. There's a link on our website.
Oh no, I just realized I left and I was unmuted. I'm so sorry for that, Brooke. Thank you for that. So I will just do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we will be able to take a little break before our first concurrent session starts at 9:50. So just a little bit of housekeeping, everybody. I'll be sharing the information about how to get your continuing education unit at the end of the conference. For any social workers attending, there'll be a QR code that you'll scan and you'll fill out that form information, and then your certificate will be mailed to you. For any participants who are attending for Power School, the information that we sent out should have already had the course number and the section number for you, but we'll put that up on the screen again at the end of the conference. Also, just giving you a heads up that there will be a short survey after each of our sessions, and then another survey will be emailed to y'all after the conference. Please do fill that out so we have a better sense of what our participants are feeling and like getting from the conference, so we can continue to work and make this conference better every year. And then finally, as I mentioned, the sessions will be recorded and be made available for attendees. Please give us maybe like 1 or 2 business days to edit out any of the like gaps and pauses, such as the many times I've said in the last couple of minutes. Thank you, everybody. We're going to wrap up this session, take a little break, take a little bio break, and we're very excited for y'all to join us for the upcoming sessions. And the first breakout sessions will be starting at 9:50. Thank you, everybody.